Good morning, everybody. Well, yeah, morning. It's morning for me, so it's morning for probably some of you as well. So welcome to First Friday Lunch. I am in my kitchen today because my dog Kaiser is on the slow walk down the hill of life. So he can't really go upstairs or anything anymore. And so I want to stay close by him in case he needs anything. So, but let's switch to something a little more exciting. Welcome spring. If you live where I live in northern Minnesota, Montana, North Dakota, it has taken spring a while to get here. I think summer's well on its way, though. We went to the lakes yesterday, my husband and I, to kind of finish up some projects so that we could be down there this summer. Brought Kaiser down for hopefully not his last trip, but probably one of the last. And we came back and the swallows have arrived. And I've noticed whenever the barn swallows arrive, usually within a couple of weeks, within the week, the mosquito hatch starts. So that's always the first sign of summer around here. Although there were mosquitoes at the lakes yesterday and they were getting us pretty good. We've been lucky the last few years because we've had drought-like weather. I don't know that we will this year. Maybe. We'll see. But it seems to be a pretty normal-ish spring. Like the snow melted really nice. We didn't have any flooding in the area where I'm at. That's not to say rivers didn't flood, but not like records or breaking or anything like that. So usually when the Red River floods, it'll make like national news. So, but yeah, we had a pretty decent melt. We've got rain coming in for the weekend, so we'll see. I see my daylilies are trying to pop up, and I've got some bulbs that I got to get in the ground. So that I've been meaning to plant, and I just haven't done it yet. And they say you're supposed to plant bulbs in the fall, and I don't know, or like now. So I always try and get them in the fall, but I haven't the last few years. So I will have to go ahead and try and get them in. So anyway, also. It's Cinco de Mayo today. So for any of you that celebrate Cinco de Mayo, have fun with that. So I'm not very familiar with the holiday. So if anybody knows anything about it other than what Google would tell me, feel free to go ahead and put it in the comments below, and so we can all be informed. I do have some projects that I'm going to be finishing up this summer. As you know, we're going into my work season. So I tend to kind of scale back my writing, but I do have a few things that I want to get done before June. So one of them is that I am helping to finalize the FM Falls anthology. I've been doing the formatting for that, and we've just got the proof copies back like a week ago. And so we've been going over those to see, looks like we might have to make some cover changes. I kind of want to redo the printing on the inside because that 10-point font looks really super tiny to me for whatever reason. So I'm thinking of increasing the font for it, but we'll see what other people say. So Chris Stenson is the leader of the Moorhead Friends writing group who is working on that anthology, and he's got the copies, he's passing them out. And so we'll probably get some feedback here in the next week or so we can finalize that. So that's one of the things I'm working on. My Regency, What Charlotte Wants, and it's kind of a working title. I think I might keep it, or What the Widow Wants. I go back and forth. This thing's had like 6 title changes. And so I haven't decided exactly what that title is going to be, but it's out on submission right now. So and as any of you who follow my channel know, I've been going back and forth on whether to self-publish this book or whether to send it to a small press, because I think it's too short to go to a big press. It's only in the 40,000. It's more of a novella length. So it's probably going to have to go to a small press, or I'll have to self-publish it. So it's on submission right now. It's sitting with one publisher, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. So I might ping them today or tomorrow and see, like, are you interested? Are you not interested? So that's where that book is at. And then for the summer, depending on how that goes, whether it gets picked up or not, I need to finish book 2 in that series. I think I have characters and built up through like book 7, I think. So that's something that I've got to finish. But yeah, I've got book 2. I have an idea for book 3 and book 4. And so we'll have to see. Kaiser's moving behind me, so we'll have to see what's going on back there in a minute. So we'll have to see what's book 3 and book 4. I've got kind of plotted in my brain, but nothing written down yet. So those are some projects I got to work on over the summer. I need to finish Wind Resistant. I have been working on this book far too long, and I got to finish it up, get it off to Book Boutique so that series, because I've started writing other short stories that are in that series, and I'd like to get at least the 4 Element books out, because it's part of the Brave the Element series. So the first one's fire, this one's going to be air because Wind Resistant, and then I need to do earth and water. I did kind of do water in the first one too. So, and then there's like earth, there's an earth fae in this one. So I could like mix them up or whatever, but I kind of wanted to at least do 4 of those novellas and then these short stories as well, and maybe possibly package it as an omnibus since Book Boutiques doesn't take any of the print rights. So, those are kind of the projects. I'm not working on a lot right now, but it's just to get through writing. My routine totally changes up. My routine's been very mixed up anyway because of Kaiser, since I've been writing like in different areas. So like I'm doing this broadcast in the kitchen so I can be close at hand for him. But normally I will do it upstairs. Ken is also gone. He's out at the airport right now getting stuff ready. We're getting the water turned on today. It's so crazy because like a week ago we had snow on the ground still, and now we have like nothing. So it's just crazy. And yesterday it was 70 degrees. And so, yeah, I think there's going to be mosquitoes any day now. So it should be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, these are kind of the big projects I've got going on. My routine will switch in the sense that I'll be writing out at the airport. I'll probably write in the evenings. And that should really, really help a lot. There's a ladybug like right above me. I have really great lighting in this kitchen. I will say that. Maybe I'm a little washed out, but I'm wearing makeup, so hopefully not too bad. But it is great lighting. It's just background's probably not that interesting to you. So I got my baker's hutch over here that I got from my mother, and there's like Ken's man shelf over here, and there's grocery store bags here, and I've got a thing of vegetables sitting here. It's very convoluted in here, I tell you. But yeah, so my routine will switch up a little bit. It'll be similar to what I do in the holidays, where I probably won't write really heavy. I'm probably going to try and aim for that 200 words a day and get stuff done. The other thing I tend to do in the summertime is I tend to write a lot by hand because I'm not always in a place where I can get Wi-Fi. Some things I've been doing recently is I have been researching places to retreat, either to self-retreat or to maybe host a retreat. I'm looking at doing that a little bit because there was a retreat a couple weekends ago in Nome, North Dakota at the Nome Schoolhouse. You guys can check that out online. I'll put a link below, but that's a place I'm looking at to maybe even self-retreat. But I was looking at their rooms and they don't really have desks. And so I was like going, I kind of need a desk. So that was the other thing. We went to the lakes to try and finish up the bedroom down there because there was, we needed to redo the sheetrock on the ceiling. And because my husband had redone the roof and he pulled out some joists and insulation and stuff like that. So we had to kind of fix that and put the roof up. And I told him, I'm like, you need to get that so it's sealed from the outside because I'm sure there's going to be Mosquito City this summer. But I know we got to do some painting quick, and then we got to finish the other half of the roof because we did one half last summer, and then the side facing the lake has got like a sheer drop off, like it's the roof and there's down to almost the lake because there's this really steep hill. And so we're going to do that. And then that might be a place that I can go and write as well. So doesn't have Wi-Fi. Excuse me. I have to create my own hotspot. So I will do that or whatever, maybe later, but I don't know. And I have we have a couple retreats I have a retreat in the fall that'll be down in Utah this year. My friend Evie is hosting this year. And then next year, we always have this spring retreat with Writers and Garden. And that's always been a lot of fun too, but it's a virtual retreat because that group is formed out of Noontime Knitting, which is one of A. Catherine Noon's groups that she manages. And we do a craft circle on Saturdays, and that group is much bigger and more spread out. So, and we started during the pandemic. So our very first retreat was on virtual because we couldn't meet in person. And actually it prompted us to do that since we had hosted our annual retreat for Founders Group, which is in the fall in September. We hosted that virtually as well. And so it's been kind of a nice thing, but I've always wanted to go someplace for it. This year, what I ended up doing, if you followed me, I was going to go to Missoula. I was trying to decide where to go. You can look at my December video if you wanted to see more about that thought process. But I was going to go out to Missoula and stay with my daughter. And then the plane tickets were so expensive. I ended up taking the train to Whitefish. My daughter met me there. So for 3 days I was there. And then I went on to Washington and retreated out there. And so that worked out pretty good. But I was like, I'm still looking at some place to just do kind of a virtual retreat or a virtual write-in or something like that, just to kind of get away from the farm and all the things that are at the farm. So, but yeah, that's still something. I probably won't do that this summer because obviously I'll be with Ken. So I will, but I'm looking at doing something like that maybe next year, either on my own or I might actually go to Missoula this year for that the low-key spring forward low-key retreat. I don't remember what we call it, but it always falls the weekend of spring, the time change going forward. So yes, we've called it the spring forward. We also call it the low-key retreat since it's virtual and it's pretty laid back. But yeah, it was nice actually being someplace else other than my house, even though we were online most of the time. So, and I still think that would be, if I didn't go somewhere for that, I would maybe figure out something different to do here. Because I've looked locally, I've looked at Gnome Schoolhouse. I've actually looked at Dakota Magic Casino, which is just down the road for me, which would have all the stuff for the retreat. Because I kind of want, or I've looked at the Jasper up in Fargo. So those are some places I've looked at. There's also the Smoky Hills in Minnesota outside of Park Rapids, which is fairly close to our cabin. So if our cabin wasn't done, I could do that. But much like our cabin, they don't have Wi-Fi, which would be kind of the key thing for that spring retreat. But whatever, it's fine. So, but yeah, maybe those would be good places for self-retreats and no Wi-Fi, so you're not getting distracted by phones and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be writing a lot out at the trailer and doing those sorts of things. I'm probably going to wrap it up early. I will check really quick and see if anybody has questions. And it does not look like it. So, and that is good, but I'm probably going to wrap it up so that I can work on some stuff and pay attention to Kaiser and all that good stuff. So our next lunch will actually be, it's going to be June 2nd at 11:30. Most likely that is going to be a recording because we have a vet appointment that morning. So I'll set up a recording, but then if I make it back in time, I'll go ahead and actually do the thing. So we'll see. And if you guys have suggestions for topics, go ahead and put them in the comments below. I'd love to see them. Oh, Barbara stopped by right at the end. Oh, hi, Barb. So I was just talking about the Moorhead Friends Writing Group FM Falls, and that we're getting close to putting that out into the world. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so yeah, just gonna wrap this up really quick so that I can go deal with this dog. And I was happy to see everybody, of course, as always. But like I said, next First Friday lunch will be June 2nd at 11:30 a.m. So go ahead and pencil me in for lunch.